At 38, Eunice had mastered the art of invisible living. Beautiful, 2 degrees with honours, impeccable manners, and completely, inexplicably unemployable. It wasn't for lack of trying. She'd applied everywhere. Prestigious firms, small businesses, even offering to work for free. The rejections came like clockwork, polite and final. Men seemed to sense something wrong about her too, their eyes sliding past her, as if she were a ghost. Meanwhile, her mother's wealth kept her comfortable in her Lagos apartment, a gilded cage where potential went to die. The preacher's words hung in the air like smoke after a fire. Ask your mother what she did to you. Eunice tried to dismiss it. Ridiculous, cruel even. But the words burrowed deep, and 3 sleepless nights later, she found herself on a bus to Ogun State. Her mother's face crumbled the moment she asked the question. Mum, what did you do to me? The truth spilled out like poison from a wound. How baby Eunice had been dying, how medicine failed, how desperation led to a witch doctor's hut, how he'd saved her life, but noticed something else. A brilliant star burning in her destiny, wasted on an infant. He said I could have it instead, her mother whispered, just until you turned 15. Then we'd reverse it. But when that day came, she'd found only ruins where the hut once stood. The witch doctor had been dead for 2 years. The star that should have been Eunice's is now trapped in her mother permanently. Eunice didn't scream. She simply folded into herself, a flower closing against winter. Back in Lagos, she wept for a week. Not for what was taken, but for what could never be. She understood her mother's choice. Love in the face of death makes desperate bargains. But understanding didn't change the mathematics of her stolen life. The decision formed slowly, like ice. 6 months. She'd travel the world, not to chase what she'd been denied, but to finally live without the weight of what might have been. No more job applications, no more hoping. Just 6 months of existing freely before the final exit. Her mother, thinking she'd finally embraced life despite everything, eagerly funded every journey. The mystic book found her in a dusty shop in Morocco, its pages whispering secrets that should have stayed buried. The transfer can be reversed if the bearer dies. Eunice's blood went cold. Her mother, living Eunice's destined life, would naturally outlive her, unless... No, never. She closed the book and tried to forget. But fate has a cruel sense of humour. When packing gifts for her mother, scarves, trinkets, love made tangible, she didn't notice the book slip into the box. The call came on the day she'd chosen to end it. Sleeping pills already lined up on her nightstand like soldiers. Eunice? Jude's voice was shattered glass. Mum is gone. Overdose. The phone slipped from her hand. Before the shock could settle, her phone exploded with light. Email after email. Job offers, senior positions, executive roles, salaries that seemed fictional. Her doorstep filled with flowers from admirers she'd never met. The universe was correcting itself, and her mother had paid the price Eunice never would have asked for. The funeral was crowded with people whose lives her mother had touched. Eunice stood between grief and gratitude, unable to separate them. She and Jude opened an NGO in their mother's name, a refuge for widows and single mothers facing impossible choices. They would catch others before desperation led them to dark bargains. Within a year, Eunice's life transformed completely. She became the woman she was always meant to be, successful, loved, fulfilled. 38 years of nothing became everything. But late at night, when success felt hollow, she'd remember. Her mother had looked at that mystic book and made the same choice Eunice couldn't. A mother's love, it turned out, was the most powerful magic of all. Some stars are stolen, some are given. Eunice learned that the brightest ones are often born from the darkest sacrifices, and that the real curse wasn't the stolen star at all. It was having to shine in a sky where her mother's light had been extinguished, so hers could finally burn.